Last night's election made clear the power of American voters, especially the youngest among them.
Gen Z turned out in droves to cast their ballots, even though many of them report feeling turned off by the polarization in our politics. So how do we get young people to want to engage? One group trying to answer that question is Future Caucus.
President and CEO of Future Caucus, Layla Zaidane, joins us now. She is one of Time Magazine's Next 100 Rising Stars this year, which is a big deal, and also one of the winners of the John P. McNulty Prize, which celebrates leaders. Welcome to you. Let's talk about Future Caucus, your group. So the goal is to kind of bring young policymakers together, right, from both sides of the aisle. What does your day-to-day look like?
That's exactly right. We're trying to tackle what we see as the #1 threat to the future of our generation, which is political polarization. Our day-to-day is introducing young elected officials, Democrats, Republicans, and independents, to one another to see each other as counterparts, not as adversaries, right? And once we help them build relationships, eventually they work on policy solutions together so that political polarization is not an obstacle to solving big problems.
And I appreciate that you're saying you're tackling polarization, but another big challenge has been apathy. And in response to that, we've seen many campaigns really lean into social media across the aisle, Republicans, Democrats, independents, really leveraging these platforms. How are campaigns now trying to mobilize young people in that way specifically?
Yeah, well, we see people use social media in a variety of different ways. Some people do it well, some people don't. The successful candidates and people who govern are using it not just to get your attention, but to keep it. Right now, I think social media is about starting a conversation with people, having an authentic way of telling people what you stand for, what you're working on, inviting people in, having that conversation and keeping people engaged.
Your organization told us that your makeup right now, as far as people that are trying to work together, is about 68% Democrat and about 32% Republican. What does it look like to try to get more and more people involved in this effort to have conversation?
The thing is, it sounds impossible, right? Building trust and friendship, even among Democrats and Republicans. But the truth is, when you can bring two Gen Zers together, two millennials along a generational identity, not a partisan identity, they start to see what they have in common. Really easy things like getting lunch or going axe throwing, which is a real thing that they've done together, not at each other. Builds that base of trust and eventually just starts to get people excited about finding solutions to problems.
It really feels like Future Caucus is kind of trying to answer this question of how do we bridge divides to collectively move forward. Do you have an answer to that question?
Well, listen, you don't have to look at me. You can look at the more than 1,900 young elected officials who have been a part of Future Caucus since we launched. Last year alone, more than 400 pieces of bipartisan legislation authored and enacted by Future Caucus members, Democrats and Republicans working together. And so don't take my work for it. Yeah. The proof is in the pudding.
I feel like that used to happen on Capitol Hill a lot more, honestly, than it does these days.
Yeah.
Layla, thank you so much. Layla Zaidane, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Well, up next...